Guess who's back? Back again. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is actually what autism looks like. Welcome to a new video, blah blah blah, all that stuff. I love you all. Thank you for watching, you know, all the YouTuber stuff. You know the whole spiel by now. I am back in the bathtub. Why, you might ask? Well, why not? I answer. The last time I did a video in my bathtub, you guys were an absolute big fan of it, so I'm just going to continue. No, it was not really about the bathtub, but mostly about Clair Obscur and my opinion on it, and I was maybe a little bit negative, even though I kind of just glazed that game for 80% in the video, and I was for like 20 to 15% negative on it. Maybe even less than that, 15%. Yeah, the Clair Obscur fan base is really something else. But you know what? That's all in the past, and we're going to look at the future. So today's video is about Skyblivion. I am so sorry to the Skyblivion fan base for saying Skyblivion. As usual, I am not the sharpest tool in the shed. One of the most ambitious fan-made video game project mods out there. It's basically a full-fledged fan remake of the original Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, but then in the engine of Skyrim. You might have read the title of this video. Why the hell should I care about Skyblivion, especially now since we have the newly released Oblivion Remastered? Well, I'm going to tell you that in today's video, because there are actually some quite important reasons, and you kind of need to know about this, especially if you are a Elder Scrolls fan. Also, why am I making this video? Well, first of all, I really love these mod projects. I am a very big, passionate fan when these fans of a game franchise go out of their way, right, in their free time, in their spare time, to make something absolutely awesome, basically for zero money, by the way. And that is just something that I feel needs more attention, and it needs a lot more positive light on what they are doing. So that is really why I am making this video, but also to show to you guys that Oblivion Remastered is kind of half-baked. So first, let me explain the difference between Oblivion Remastered and Skyblivion. Now, it is a bit confusing, I know, because Oblivion Remastered actually looks like a remake, and it kind of is a half remake, let's say. A quarter remake, let's say. So graphically, it looks like a remake. It has the graphics of a Unreal Engine 5 game, and that is really cool. But the thing is, a game is more than just graphics. It's also its gameplay and its story, of course. Now, story-wise, remakes don't really change much, except if you are called Final Fantasy VII. In the case of a normal remake, gameplay is a very big, important feature, of course. Why would I play this new version if I can play the original Oblivion? And towards gameplay, not a lot of stuff was really improved in the remaster. Some stuff on the combat, which was highly needed, and I actually do like myself. It plays a bit more like Skyrim, especially from a movement standpoint, shall I say, an impact standpoint with your sword and magic. It is a little bit Skyrim-ified, shall I say, but it's still really Oblivion. In my opinion, they could have gone so much further with the Oblivion Remastered. So, let's start off. Reason number one. A little bit of backstory. I am a very big fan of Skyrim. Why am I a very big fan of Skyrim? Well, mostly because of its exploration. And one of the biggest things that Bethesda does very well with their games, especially Skyrim, are the dungeons. So you could imagine when I got my hands for the very first time on Oblivion Remastered, playing Oblivion for the very first time, I was like, yes, oh my god, I cannot wait to explore these dungeons, go on adventures and stuff like that and quests. So after a few hours of playing, I was a little bit disappointed. When you see these dungeons in Oblivion, now Oblivion is a very good game, especially for its time. Quotation marks for its time. Dungeons back then were a little bit, shall I say, simple. You would go in a cave, and that cave might have one rock in an empty room and just tunnels and tunnels of enemies. And then a few chests sprinkled around. You might find the chests if you go left, right, left, square,
X, and Y.
and maybe the quest objective. These dungeons, what they call in Oblivion, are extremely simple designed. It would be not that bad if I would see that cave once, but you see it multiple times. The same textures get repeated in the open world with all the caves, with all the Aliad dungeons. Basically, you have like 4-5 different templates of dungeons in Oblivion, and that's it. And it never diversifies at all. Now, what Sky Oblivion aims to do is much more ambitious. They want to make every single cave, every single dungeon unique. When you get into a dungeon, you will experience something truly different each time, with different design, maybe some unique enemies wandering around, and just a much more diverse experience. That's one of the most disappointing things about the original Oblivion. Skyrim just does this so much better, and the modding team at Skyblivion really wants to get to that same quality that Skyrim has, and maybe even surpass that towards the dungeons. So yeah, if you care about dungeons, especially in Oblivion, Skyblivion is going to blow Oblivion original out of the water with those dungeons.
Yeah.
And being able to do that on the Xbox now, and I want to be clear, actually that feature is not coming out at launch.
So as you guys know, every game out there has cut content. That is really how game development works. A lot of devs get a lot of ideas, but they don't have the time or budget to implement it into their game. And Bethesda games are notorious for a lot of cut content, just because of already how big these games are, or maybe time constraints. But Sky Oblivion is aiming to implement as much good content as they can. So there is actually a whole big settlement city that was cut from the original Oblivion called Such, or I believe SUTCH. I could be totally butchering this. It's basically a settlement full with bandits, and they actually want to implement this back from the plans that the original devs had for Oblivion. They want to realize this like as an actual bigger thing in Skyblivion. Also, the older big major cities, basically the towns that already exists in Oblivion, are going to get much bigger from actual lost development pages and sketches that they basically took inspiration from, and they are going to make the cities a bit bigger, basically towards the original design on how Oblivion was intended to be in the first place, which is just awesome in my opinion. So if you are a big fan of Oblivion, that is already a second reason why you really want to watch Skyblivion. Another thing that I was a bit disappointed with, especially in the remaster, is the art style. If you compare the original Oblivion with Oblivion Remaster, you might notice that the remaster's graphics and art style are very darker and more serious. At first, when I saw the leaked screenshots, I was thinking, they probably want to make this more in line with Skyrim, and maybe that was the thought behind it at Bethesda. At least that's what I am speculating myself. But when you play the remaster for yourself, the game is much more grayer, muted in color, and for me that really fitted with Skyrim especially. But Oblivion was a much more colorful game, and in my opinion it kind of just benefited from that it was more colorful. But don't worry, because Skyblivion will be much more colorful, aiming to be much more in line with the original Oblivion. Just take a look at these trees that you see in the gameplay for Skyblivion, with all the colors, but also a lot of density in the forests. I do kind of miss something with the open world design of the official remaster. Sometimes it feels a bit too empty in the open world, and in my opinion Skyblivion has just a bit more passion towards it. I know a lot of comments beneath this video are going to be like, but Max, Oblivion Remastered is in Unreal Engine 5 and that's so much better. But the thing is, there is more towards video games than just pure fidelity. And when you look towards, as an example, a few screenshots between the remaster and Skyblivion, you will see just a much more, in my opinion at least, maybe this is more of an opinionated topic, but in my opinion there is just so much more passion and identity with Skyblivion compared towards what Oblivion Remaster does. So yeah, if you are a fan of that original more art style that Oblivion OG did, Skyblivion is going to be much more colorful, and that is something I am really much looking forward to in Skyblivion. So as you guys might guess, Skyblivion is of course the best worlds of Oblivion, but also Skyrim. And one of the things I absolutely love about Skyrim, primarily the dual wielding spell system. So if you guys know how the magic system works in Oblivion, you equip a spell like healing, fireball, etc., ice, move, attack, frostbite, something like that. And you basically activate that spell with the shoulder buttons if you are playing on a controller. Kind of just cast the spell like that. But compared to Skyrim, it's just not as cool in my opinion. And I really just love the spell casting in Skyrim, how you can have two spells at the same time in one hand. Maybe you have a thunder destruction spell and in the other hand you have an illusion spell, something like that. Or you can have two of the same spells, two fire spells as an example, and you can combine them for a more powerful attack. And that system is just not in Oblivion, and to see that in Skyblivion is just really cool. So any of the good things Skyrim had, gameplay wise, in Skyrim, you will see that in Skyblivion because, of course, it's on the Skyrim engine.
Sentry, what do you see?
The last, biggest, most important reason why you should care about Skyblivion is really because of the modding capabilities that it will have. If there is one game that is extremely moddable, it's Skyrim. The thing is, there are limitations towards modding on Oblivion Remaster because, of course, it's running partially on the Oblivion original engine, but also Unreal Engine 5 with a dual engine approach. And there are a lot of mods for the original Oblivion as well, but they are definitely a bit limited. But Skyblivion won't have this problem because it's the engine of Skyrim. Do you want a player housing mod in Skyblivion? It will happen. Do you want a better combat system mod? Those already exist for Skyrim. It will happen for Skyblivion. Do you want better AI? That is possible. Do you want better graphics than what the Skyblivion team is going to give you? That will be possible. Do you want to retexture stuff? That will be possible. Everything that's possible with Skyrim will be also possible with Skyblivion. That's the thing. And that is just a major advantage that Skyblivion will have. Do you just want better graphics for Skyblivion because Oblivion Remaster has it? Don't worry. There will be mods coming out for sure. Maybe you can even use Skyrim mods that are already out that you can use in Skyblivion because of the modding capabilities that that engine has already. And maybe there is something about Skyblivion that you won't like. You know what? You can just mod it out for something else. And that is one such big advantage that Skyblivion will have over the Oblivion original remaster. Now, is the original Oblivion remaster bad? No, absolutely not. And I actually enjoyed Oblivion Remaster, but there are a lot of flaws with it. And once when I get my hands on Skyblivion, a lot of stuff will just be better. The dungeons will be much more unique. The art style will be back to something more colorful. The modding capabilities will be there. The cut content will be there. They want to make this the ultimate Oblivion experience. And I simply cannot wait. Thank you guys for watching this video. It was kind of a weird video, but I just really wanted to make this also to give a little bit of something of a marketing push towards Skyblivion. Also, Skyblivion always needs volunteers. It's still coming out this year so far that I know. They have their own YouTube channel with the updates that they are doing. I will put a link towards their YouTube channel in the description down below, as well as maybe their website. If you have any experience in the creation engine, volunteer for Skyblivion, because this will be the biggest modding event of all time for any game out there when this thing launches. We've already seen the release of Fallout London, if you guys love the Fallout games as well. And after seeing how good Fallout London was, I have a lot of hope for Skyblivion that they can deliver as well. And I've seen so much gameplay now already of Skyblivion. This will be a good one, I can promise you. It will still release this year, but if you can help towards this project to push it over the finish line, please go to their website because they always need volunteers. Thank you guys for watching. As always, I will do more of these bathtub rant videos if I have another topic about video games in general, maybe other passionate modding things. Let me know in the comment section down below. Also, I just released not too long ago a video on Final Fantasy, which is a big essay video that I worked on for 2 weeks almost, and the views for that one are not that great, so I would really appreciate it if you guys would check that video out as well, if you are a fan, of course, of Final Fantasy. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you guys all in the next video. I love you all. Bye bye.